Hi, I'm Jennifer Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio, and I just wanted to introduce you guys to these wonderful metallic foils that we are working with. There are so many applications that can be created, and we're just going to get started. To start with, what is a metallic foil? Okay, let me grab one here. Okay, this is just a beautiful red. We thought would be great for Valentine's. Okay, we used a lot of this during Christmas, but now we're on to Valentine's Day. So I grabbed the red. And basically what a metallic foil is there's a metallization that's on the back side of clear plastic. So you're seeing the color through this, but this side is actually plastic, and this back side is where the metallization is. So we're gonna transfer this to a surface. To transfer a foil, we need something really, really sticky. And sorry about my crazy little label here, but this is a foil adhesive. It's under my own brand called Artsyville Embellishments. And this is a really sticky adhesive that creates a tack that we need to be able to transfer that metallization. So I'm going to grab this stuff. Okay, I want you to see what it looks like. It's just milky white, okay? And it dries perfectly clear though, so don't think it's gonna dry that color. Okay, I've got a bunch of boards here because I want to show you all kinds of stuff. So bear with me, okay? I'm gonna put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just gonna start with this flower pot because this is one of the projects I've been working on, and it is a Valentine project, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and brush, and this is a little bit tedious, okay? I gotta be really steady to get that nice line right there, okay? But you can brush this product on, you can roll it on. I've never sprayed it, so I can't tell you if it'll spray. It is water-based. It cleans, your brushes will clean up and your rollers will clean up with just either warm water or soap and water, okay? If you feel that it still has a tacky feel, you can always add a little bit of soap and just rinse them off. I do try to clean up any of my tools that I've used with adhesive, just because it is a glue. I always try to clean them up relatively quickly. Not that I say that I've got a bucket of them over here next to me right now, okay, that need to be cleaned. But make sure that they're soaking in water and don't just let them sit, because you could possibly ruin something, okay? But this adhesive was designed for these foils, okay? We had it manufactured so that we could have a product that was tacky enough to pull off our metallic foils and give us a really great release. The foils were never really created for the industry that we're using them in, so we're kind of taking them out of their normal process, which means they're meant to be going through like a hot press, having a special type of glue, and it's getting heat and pressure. So we can't really apply heat and pressure when we're doing stuff as simple as a flower pot, or if we're doing a piece of furniture, we're doing cabinetry, we do walls, we do so many different surfaces, we don't have a machine to apply that heat and pressure. So I had this adhesive manufactured so that we would have something that would give us a really, really strong tack and pull that metallization off for us. So the foil adhesive never dries beyond a firm tack. It gets to a nice hard tack, but it will never dry beyond that. It will always be sticky. Okay, I just want to clean up this one edge where I've got a little puddle on it, okay? And then I'm just going to brush it on the inside too. So I'm putting the foil adhesive everywhere I already painted red. Okay, so the foil adhesive needs to take at least 15 minutes minimum, okay, and that's like in Las Vegas, okay, where it's real dry and warm most of the time. Anywhere else you want to wait normally at least 30 minutes to an hour, and you can wait hours and days. It doesn't matter how long you let it tack up. You just want to make sure that it is to a firm, dry tack before you go any further. Okay, so I know I'm boring you guys, but I wanted to get this on. I wanted to show you that how quickly you can paint this on, that as it starts to even dry, it's going clear. But when you are putting it on, having it be a product that is milky white is kind of nice because you can see what you're doing. You can see where it's been applied, and then it just dries down to a soft sheen. Okay, so it is a little shiny when it dries. But you want to make sure you get 100% coverage anywhere that you want to transfer a foil. Because if there's no glue, there'll be no transfer. Okay, I'm going to brush on one other surface just because I also want to be able to show you. I'm looking for one of my older brushes because I don't like using my new brushes. I want to show you. Okay, we're just going to dry one of these off. One of the new foils, and I think this new foil is going to look great on a black background. So I just grabbed a molding piece, and let's just slap on a little foil adhesive onto here. And like I said, you can brush or roll. The other thing you want to be careful with is foils are such a thin metallization that everything underneath them will basically telegraph through. So as we're applying even the foil adhesive, we want to make sure that our brush strokes are neat and uniformed if we can, because that possibly will show through the foil transfer as well. When I'm applying, even by roller, I always come back and I roll all in the same direction. I don't roll in all different directions because you're going to possibly see all those roller marks. Okay, we're going to let those things dry, okay? I'm not going to bore you with starting anything else. And I've got the sample board that's already done, okay? This is, you can see it's a little shiny, okay? So this was prepped, oh, who knows how long ago. I found it earlier today. It's been probably sitting around for 6 months or better, and it will never get any drier than this firm tack. So it's, you can see how tacky, or here it is. And that's as dry as it's ever gonna get. But there is a little bit of dust that got stuck in here. So that's kind of the only bad thing about prepping something ahead of time and not getting back to it, is you're probably gonna have a little dust stuck on it because it's sticky, and anything that gets close to it is going to stick on there. Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple of foils that I would love to introduce you to. And we have recently just found some of these unbelievable exotic foils, okay? So we are having a blast with these. You can basically transfer on any color, and I just happen to have that board handy, okay? So I'm gonna cut off a piece so just so I can show you how these actually transfer, and you can see once it is transferred. I love this one pair of scissors. This pair of scissors is only for foils back here, and we will hurt somebody if anybody else tries to use them. Okay, I'm gonna cut up a couple of them because I'm gonna show you a few different patterns while I have you on here with me. This one is so pretty. They're all pretty, okay? This one's called Ramsey Roses, and it is a rose pattern in a silver. We also have it in a gold. It's fun to just have all these different designs to work with, because most of the foils, there's been a few patterns that we've had available in the past, but not too many designs like this. So a lot of our foils have been just solid colors, but it's so much fun to actually have some patterns to work with. Okay, we're also going to show you, this one is called Cloud. So this one is just a really fun kind of cloudy look between a black and a gold. We also have it in a black and a silver. And we're gonna go ahead and take a piece of this off as well. Okay, they're starting to stick together. I don't want to cut up my samples. But I want to have several out here so I can show you some fun stuff, okay? And then we have this one, okay? This one just kind of makes my heart pitter-patter. Isn't that gorgeous? This one's called Bailey, okay? And it's just a beautiful floral pattern. I'm trying to get it on here without getting the glare from the overhead lights, but it's just gorgeous with a black background. So this is the foil that I'm going to transfer on that black molding for you. And we'll also transfer a bigger piece so that we can kind of get a good look at it. If you're not familiar with my company, you can find us online. We're at artisticpaintingstudio.com, and all these wonderful products are available there, plus training and all kinds of great stuff. Okay, so let's get started with some fun here. Now, there's nothing perfect about foils to begin with, okay? Indicating that we're taking them out of the correct industry and we're using them on projects and applications that they really weren't meant for. So there's never going to be a perfect release, but there's a couple different ways that you can always apply these. If I'm doing this by myself and the foil wants to curl a little bit, I'll turn it where I've doubled it up and I can kind of control it a little bit better. And that way I can hold onto the ends and get it into position and then allow the rest of it to lay down. So that's a great way. Okay, let's move this down just a little bit more. Hold on a second here. There, that way you can see a little bit better. Once it's on, okay, I'm looking for, we're going to grab some cheesecloth. You can also just grab a terry rag. Anything that's a nice soft rag is what I like to use. And I try not to put my hands on it to begin with because everything, like I said, can transfer. So you basically want to just rub the surface with something soft and try to keep your hands off of it as you can. Okay, and like I said, this board has been laying around for a while, so I can see that there's something stuck to the board that's even preventing the foil from completely touching it. So we're going to see if we can get that off. And then I'm just going to smooth it right down. Okay, the other thing you want to be careful of, if you have a straight line or any, outside line, you never want to transfer those because that's going to make a perfect line in the foil. So you always want to transfer short of that line. Give yourself at least a 1/2 inch to 1 inch margin so that you're not going to transfer that perfect edge. And so that's another thing with foils. There is a little bit of waste and salvage because you're not going to transfer every square inch of it. Okay, there's two things you can do. You can rub, and you can rub a little bit more vigorously, okay? And then peek underneath and see if you have received as much transfer as you want, okay? It's not a bad transfer, but I know I can still get more foil off because you can still see there's pattern on the plastic. And you don't always want sometimes a perfect transfer. So that's why I always tell everybody to rub on the back and see, okay, peek and see, because you might be wanting less of a transfer because you're not looking for it to be perfect. You're looking for some of those imperfections. Okay, if you want more transfer, then this is just like a household scrub brush, okay? Normally you can find it in Home Depot or any cleaning aisle. And they are plastic bristles, they're stiff, and then just scrub back and forth. And then again, you get to peek, okay? And determine if you have as much transfer as you want. Okay, that's transferring pretty good. I'm still seeing some of the paint underneath, so I can always go back and use a little bit more pressure. And always the first time I use the brush, I'm going all in the same direction, okay? After that, I'm able to go in different directions because you won't be able to see that movement. Because we're basically just trying to get the very last of the foil to transfer, okay? So This did pretty good. There's still a little bit of the pattern left on here, but that really did a pretty good transfer. And let me lift this up so that you guys can see and try to get it without a glare. Isn't that gorgeous, okay? I know through the camera you can't see any of the imperfections, but to eliminate most of the imperfections, if you base coat your surface in a similar color to the foil that you're transferring, then if there's not a complete transfer, you'll never notice it because that same color is underneath. But that is absolutely stunning, okay? Wouldn't that be beautiful on a drawer front, on a dresser, or if you're doing a really cute little over-the-top powder room, you could do the entire vanity in this foil. I think that would be absolutely stunning. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple more foils as well as different techniques. Okay, so I've been dying to see this one. Okay, so this is our wild leopard. Okay, and this is the large scale. We also have it in a smaller print. Okay, not only can you, like I said, turn the foils with the outside exposed. Okay, so this is the side that you want to transfer. Okay. When you fold it in half like that, it gives you better control, so that way you can lay them down. You can also wrinkle them up, okay? And if you wrinkle them up, they have a tendency to not want to curl so much, so they're easier to manage as well. You will also get a little bit of that crinkled look in your transfer, but I don't think that's a bad thing, okay? I'm going to move this board up, and we're going to lay this right down. Oh, this is going to be so incredible. I just love, I mean, you cannot go wrong with animal prints these days. I don't care if it's cheetah, if it's leopard, if it's black, if it's gold, silver. I mean, there's just unbelievable everything. You're seeing it in clothing, you're seeing it in textiles, it's everywhere. Okay, so let's peek. Okay, now rubbing on there lightly just didn't do much. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of the color, but the pattern's really not coming through. So we're gonna make sure we put that back down. I'm gonna try to smooth out any bubbles that I have, and then come back and use the scrub brush again. Now remember, I'm keeping my motion all in the same direction to start with. And I am putting a little pressure, but I'm not building muscles yet, okay? So I'm not pressing so hard that I'm getting a great workout. And then peek, okay, and see how well it transferred. If you still have some color on the foil, if you just lift and allow it to go back in that same spot, there could still be some adhesive in those areas that would be able to transfer that. So I'm gonna go back and again, scrub a little bit harder. I'm gonna go to my circular motion. And we're going to expose. Oh, how fun is this? Okay. Now, this print here does not transfer as bright and shiny as the foils do, or the roses do, okay? So this one has a little bit more of a satin finish, but isn't that gorgeous? And the transfer came out really well. My base color that I would love to see underneath this would either be black or a gray, and then you would have almost a perfect looking transfer. Oh, so much fun. Okay, there's just so many things we can do with all of this. I hope that you guys' minds are racing with ideas on where you could actually use these foils. Okay, I want to show you this one here, which is the cloud. And we're just going to smooth that down. So this is Gold Cloud, which just basically gives you a mottled color. So if you were trying to do some kind of a faux finish or something, you could just cheat and do foils instead. So we're going to scrub. And remember, I'm staying short of all my edges, okay? We don't want any of those distinctive lines. And then let's lift and peek. Okay, we still could use some more pressure here. We're gonna get our circular motion going. And then see. Whew. Okay, it's getting stuck to the top there. Again, this one is more of almost a matte finish transfer, which is really cool because you don't see too many of the metallic foils that transfer in a more matte look, okay? Most of them are all really bright and shiny, as the Ramsey Roses is. And last but not least, okay, I'm gonna show you, this one's Bailey, okay, Bailey's Flowers. So I'm gonna show you this on the light background, and then I'm gonna also transfer it on the black background because this is gonna show more. So first thing I always do, smooth it out with my rag. And then let's come back and let's scrub. Let's peek, okay. These are so pretty. Okay, again, I still want some more transfer. So I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure. I'm gonna use my circular motion. And we're gonna see how well that worked there. Oh, that came out really pretty. Now having a dark background underneath that is going to be stunning, absolutely stunning. And like I said, they don't all transfer absolutely perfect. You can see there's little areas that didn't transfer, but that also kind of gives you more of a weathered, worn look, which kind of antiques it naturally. So let's see. I'm not sure if the foil adhesive is going to be completely ready, okay? It hasn't been that long. Let's see. Yeah, it's been about 15 minutes, which isn't bad. So we're going to go ahead and try this and put this on the molding, okay? This has a back background for us, which I think is going to be stunning with this particular print. Now, when you're doing something that has different levels to it, okay? So the molding goes in and out and in and out. The adhesive is going to grab on the high point, so there's nothing going to go down in this lower area to begin with because it grabbed the top first. So we'll have to lay a fresh piece down in there. Oops. Let's go ahead and just scrub this on. And remember that my adhesive only dried about 15 minutes, which I always recommend letting it dry no less than 30 minutes to an hour or even better. But even with that minimum amount of drying, look how that came out. Isn't that absolutely stunning? Now, if I wanted to, I could definitely take a piece of that foil that didn't go into this lower part and I could transfer something there, or I could just even leave the black break, okay, which I don't think takes away from it at all. So this right here would be beautiful drawer fronts, or even if you just want to do something on a dresser, and you know how everybody pulls the drawers out and it's like the peekaboo on the side? Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay, now, as far as finishing things, let's see. Okay, I was going to show the red on the flower pot, but let's talk about this for a second. Okay, that's actually a better view too. We're not getting such a glare. Okay, you guys can see that a little bit better. You want a top coat, okay? Everything that you do with the foils are such a thin metallization that they need to be protected. So just like if you were painting a piece of furniture and you're going to put a top coat on there to protect it, you want to put a top coat over your foils. So you can paint on your base coat, put on your foil adhesive, transfer your foil. You could glaze over the top of this, or you could just go ahead and top coat and be completely done. Okay, I keep trying to find the best position that does not get really strong reflection from the lights here. Okay, that's not bad. I forgot to hit do not disturb. Sorry about that. Okay, so last thing I want to show you, because when we're working on challenging surfaces, that can make projects a little bit, just a little bit more of a challenge, okay? So I'm going to cut strips of the red. Let's put this back down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got my red foil out, and I'm just cutting strips because I think that's going to be easier to manage on that narrow rim than trying to cut a big piece, okay? So let me cut about 4 of these and see how we go. But I was thinking for Valentine's Day, this would just be such a fun project. So I'm going to try to do this on the side that you can see. Okay, we'll tilt this a little bit. Let's go this way. Trying to keep it off the table because now the whole rim is sticky. And let's just go ahead. And it didn't get laid down perfect, okay? So I'm not going to worry about that. And let's see how well that transferred. Okay, this almost pulled off perfectly. You can see through it, okay? That way you know all the foil is gone. And I wanted you to see how the color has changed, okay, from our just flat matte red to this beautiful shiny red. Okay, now that side is done, okay, because the foil is transferred. Now I have someplace I can actually lay this down, okay? And it's much easier, okay, to do the second piece versus the first piece. That is going to be so fun. That is so pretty. And the other thing that I want to really show you about this is you want to pick your colors, your base colors, depending on what color foil you're going to be using. So I would not go grab a whiteboard and normally transfer gold roses over the top of it. There's too much contrast, okay? If I'm going to transfer gold roses, I either want something close to the color of that foil, or I want a darker color underneath, because a darker color coming through is going to be better than a white. But it's always not a bad idea to grab your foils, make a little sample board, and just kind of play around to figure out what is the best color combination for that foil. It might be black underneath, it might be red, it just, you know, there's plenty of different options, okay? So I'm gonna continue working on this, okay? And now I'm just gonna do the inside of the rim so that it'll be just as shiny as the outside. And I wanna show you just one more, okay? So I've been playing with the flower pots a little bit. This is one I did yesterday. And this one is our cheetah pattern, and it's the silver, okay? So we do have a lot of fun animal prints to work with. So thank you for joining me here today and hanging out and learning about foils. Please feel free to comment below and ask any questions. I'll make sure there's links on here that you can get to our website and find all these great tools and products to work with. And we'll be back on here soon. We'll see you later.